na blurred yung screen ko at may mga gray-gray ganyan. Please let me know po. You can raise your hand or pwede kayong mag-chat po para mabasa ko. Okay? So, ayan. Let us begin the discussion. Okay, the Philippine criminal justice system covers the basic functions and process of every stage of the system or yung tinatawag na pillars. So, in here, we will be discussing yung 5 pillars ng PCJS. So, later on, discuss natin sila isa-isa. But first, let us know kung saan nga ba nag-origin yung Philippine criminal justice system, or it's like the evolution. Okay, it says here laws or can be written, unwritten, or customary, promulgated by chieftains and or council of elders. So, noong mga unang kapanahunan, ang set of rules nila ay being set by the chieftains or yung mga leaders ng mga clans or barangays and yung mga nakakatanda sa society or dun sa specific barangay. And then in 1433 AD, we have the Code of Kalanchaw, which is written by Dato Kalanchaw. In this code, they use physical practices to punish yung mga nagkakasala sa society during that time. So, nandyan yung ilulublob ka nila sa or they will drown you in the river or sa boiling water like that. Ano pa ba, papasuin ka ng napakainit na bakal, ganyan, itatali sa bato. So those are the kind of punishment that they use um, in the Code of Kalanchaw. And then we also have the Maragtas Code of 1250 AD. So ito naman focuses on the punishment for the lazy people. So nakafocus siya sa pagpapanish ng mga tamad. And then when disputes arises, it is decided peacefully through a court composed of the chieftain as judge and the barangay elders as the jury. So, ayun, pag nagkakaroon ng mga disputes sa barangay or sa society during that time or in their clan, so, pinaprocess siya sa court or pinaprocess siya or dinidecide siya ng chieftain bilang pinaka-judge nila at yung mga elders din. And then, pag naman may conflict na nag-arise between barangay to barangay, they will be resolved by a board composed of elders from a neutral barangay. So, it's like may kapisanan sila or a group of people in each barangay. So, kumbaga lilitis or magkakaroon ng parang hearing ganun. Tapos, doon aayusin or aaregluhin yung conflict. Okay. Under Malolos Republic Decree issued on June 20, 1898, Spanish Penal Code to remain in force at the time being. So, town chief, automatically the judge. Provincial council tries and decides criminal cases. So, it's like ito yung provincial councils, they are like the fiscal nowadays. And then Commission of Justice or of the Revolutionary Congress decide appealed criminal cases. So if you can still remember during on your constitution topic, yung Malolos Constitution, it was approved or what do you call that? Na-form siya nung after we are freed from the Spanish, 'di ba? The Philippine independence was declared on June 12, 1898, but still when it comes to justice system, we're still using the Spanish Penal Code. So kahit na nakalaya na tayo sa Spanish during that time. And then, ano nga ba ang criminal justice system? So, as time goes by, nag-evolve na or na-develop si criminal justice system. It is a mechanism or the sum total of instrumentation which a society uses in the prevention and control of crime and delinquency. It is also the machinery of the state's government which enforces the rules of conduct necessary to protect life and property and to maintain peace and order. It represents the totally of the activities of law enforcers, prosecutors, defense lawyers, judges, and correctional institution officers, as well as those from the mobilized community in crime prevention and control. So si criminal justice system daw, ito yung ginagamit ng ating government or state. Ito yung tool niya para sorry, excuse me, para ma-prevent or para ma-control yung crime sa community natin. And then, sabi sa pangalawang bullet, it represents the totally of the activities. So, which is correct. Excuse me po, sorry. So, na-mention dito yung law enforcers, prosecutors, defense lawyers, judges, and correctional institution officers, and even the community kasi they are part of the 5 pillars of the criminal justice system. So, we will be discussing them one by one. Okay, so what are the functions of the major components of the CJS or criminal justice system? So we have here the first, to prevent and control the commission of crime para maiwasan or makontrol ang mga krimen, to enforce the law, to safeguard lives, apprehend, prosecute, and sentences those who violate the laws, and to rehabilitate the convicts and reintegrate them into the community as law-abiding citizens. So, ito yung mga role nila sa ating community. 'Di ba parang similar lang siya sa role ng ating since included nga ang law enforcers dito or ating PNP. So it's like similar. The function is similar. Okay. Let us proceed with the 5 pillars of the criminal justice system. Please take note of this and the order, yung order nila since this is a system, meaning meron siyang pagkakasunod-sunod. Okay, due process. That's what we call due process. So first is the community, the first pillar. Second, law enforcement, prosecution, courts, and correction. So you should memorize those 5. Okay? If you're gonna search nasa 5 pillars ng criminal justice system, may mga lumalabas na nauuna or the first pillar is the law enforcement. So let us know why mas nauuna dapat si community. Guys, sabihin nyo ha kung masyadong mabilis, ganyan. Or kung nagkakaproblema ulit ako sa screen. So the community pillar, as the center of the community, as the center of the criminal justice system, the community plays a twofold role. First, it has the responsibility to participate in law enforcement activities by being a partner of the peace officers in reporting the crime incident and helping in the arrest of the offender. So ito, sabi dito, uh, we can be parang pwede tayong maging partner ng mga officers or ng mga law enforcers sa pag-prevent or pag-control ng crimes by like reporting crimes or helping them to arrest the offender. So, pwede ba tayong mag-arrest as a normal citizen ng mga offender? Sa tingin nyo? We as a normal citizen.
Yes po.
Okay. Okay, yes. Later on, we will be discussing how and why. And then what are the grounds para tayo ay mag-arrest? And then number two, it has the responsibility to participate in the promotion of peace and order through crime prevention or deterrence activities in the rehabilitation of convicts and their integration into the society. Okay. Ang crime prevention naman is situational, social, and community-based. So maraming paraan para tayo as an individual or as a part of community ay makatulong sa pag-prevent at pag-control ng mga krimen. Sabi nga natin kahapon, 'di ba, sa vision and mission ng PNP, we are always tied up with them, with the PNP. So lagi tayong part it's like we are part para maging successful or ma-achieve ng PNP or ng community yung peace and order. Okay, citizen-based crime prevention groups become part of the criminal justice system within the framework of their involvement in crime prevention activities and in the reintegration of convicts into the mainstream of society once they are released from the correctional institution or penitentiary. And then the other four pillars of the criminal justice system pertain to traditional agencies of the government vested with official responsibility in dealing with and or controlling crime, while the community pillar, being broad-based, is composed of the public and private sectors as well as individuals together and under the concept of participative criminal justice system. They involve themselves in issues and participate in activities related to crime prevention and control. So yun nga, as I have mentioned, napakaraming paraan para tayo ay makatulong at makapag-cooperate sa crime prevention groups to achieve peace and order in the community. And then it says here na yung apat na, while the community pillar is kasi malawak, it composed of public and private sectors as well as individuals, which is tayo nga. The other four pillars of the criminal justice system pertains sa mga agencies na may authority na mag-investigate, mag-judge, at mag-correct ng mga ng crimes. Okay. So we have here the different types of justice system that we have. We have barangay justice system. The establishment and operation of barangay justice system is mandated by Republic Act number 7160 of the Local Government Code of 1991. So barangay justice system, or also known as the Lupong Tagapamayapa. Barangays court system amicably settled dispute cases within their respective barangay, punishable by imprisonment not exceeding 1 year or a fine not exceeding to 5,000 pesos. So, 'di ba? Pagka merong mga conflict sa isang barangay, kung hindi naman ito mga talagang malalang krimen, like hindi naman siya patayan or whatnot, or kumbaga mga minor cases lang, as much as possible, we are trying to settle it in the barangay muna. Okay. Kasi they have the authority na mag-settle ng mga dispute or mga cases for as long as pwede naman siyang maareglo sa barangay. And then katarungang pambarangay, give the appropriate barangay chairman and barangay lupon officials to amicably settle cases within their jurisdiction. Ito, lupong tagapamayapa or lupon, composed of barangay chairman and the 10 to 20 members. So yan, sila yung mga barangay chairman, barangay kagawad, at yung mga tanods natin. So they are also authorized to amicably settle disputes. Amicable settlement, process of solving or settling or solving disputes in a certain barangays. So, in short, areglo. Ito yung pag-areglo. Okay. So, we are done with the community pillar. As I've mentioned earlier, bakit nga ba nauuna si community pillar before the law enforcement? So, 'di ba? Lahat naman ng crimes happened in the community muna. So, without any crime na nangyari, wala namang law or wala namang ipapanish sa law enforcement. So, that's why community comes first before the law enforcement pillar. Pag may crime na na-commit or may dispute na nangyari, we can proceed with the law enforcement pillar. This pillar consists mainly of the Philippine National Police, yan yung first, National Bureau of Investigation, Philippine Drug Enforcement Agency or PDEA, Bureau of Immigration, Bureau of Customs, LTO or the Land Transportation Office, and other agencies who have law enforcement power as provided by the law. Okay. I-take note nyo rin to or screenshot nyo then please familiarize itong mga included sa law enforcement pillar na to or mga agencies, government agencies na included sa law enforcement pillar. So, their work focus on prevention and control of crimes, enforcement of laws, and affecting the arrest of the offenders, which includes the conduct of lawful searches and seizures for the purpose of gathering the necessary pieces of evidence in support of a complaint, which is to be filed before the prosecutor's office. So before mapunta sa prosecutor's office or before mag-file ng case, si law enforcement natin gather muna ng mga necessary evidences na maaaring makapag-support doon sa investigation or doon sa doon sa investigation nga. And then arrest of violators of the law may be affected with or without a warrant of arrest, which is oftentimes referred to as citizen's arrest. Ayan. So, ito yung sinasabi natin kanina. We as a normal citizen can arrest an individual uh, with a certain grounds. So, with or without warrant po yan. Pwede tayong mag-arrest. So, let us know what are those grounds or in what circumstances that we can arrest someone. So, citizen's arrest or warrantless arrest, Rule 113, Section 5. The law enforcers or a private person can effect a warrantless arrest under the following circumstances. Very important din tong information na to, guys. So I want you to screenshot or take note of this. In flagrante delicto, when in his presence, the person to be arrested has committed, is actually committing or attempting to commit an offense. So, si in flagrante delicto, ito yung sabi nga in your presence, 'di ba? In his presence. Nakita talaga ng dalawang mata mo na yung person na yon ay nag-commit ng crime. So, you are a living witness, kitang-kita mo, or magko-commit pa lang siya ng crime at meron kang strong evidence na talagang gagawin niya yon, or is attempting to commit an offense. So, pwede mo siyang arestuhin kahit walang warrant of arrest. And then, the second is hot pursuit. When an offense has just been committed and he has probable cause to believe based on personal knowledge or facts or circumstances that the person to be arrested has committed it. So ito naman si hot pursuit, ang difference niya kay in flagrante, though hindi mo siya nakita on your own two eyes na kinumit ng taong yon yung crime, pero meron kang probable cause or strong evidence pa rin na magpapatunay na siya yung gumawa nung krimen na yon, you can still arrest that person without a warrant. So like for example, ganito, halimbawa pa uwi ka, naglalakad ka sa daan, may nakita kang dalawang tao, babae at lalaki. So yung babae nakahilata na sa daan, duguan na siya, ganyan, nasaksak siya in short. And then yung lalaki naman, nakita mo nakatayo beside the girl na may hawak-hawak na kutsilyo at duguan din siya, duguan yung kamay, ganyan. So 'di ba? It's your first instinct talaga is yung lalaki ang sumaksak dun sa babae kasi it's very obvious dahil may hawak siyang kutsilyo, silang dalawa lang doon. So, pwede mo siyang arestuhin and you can surrender him to the nearest police station kahit na walang warrant at kahit na hindi mo nakita actually yung crime. Okay? And then we have the escapee. When the person to be arrested is a prisoner who has escaped from a penal establishment or place where he is serving final judgment or is temporarily confined while his case is pending or has escaped while being transferred from one confinement to another. So ito naman si escapee. Ito yung mga tumakas sa kulungan. Alam mong tumakas siya or prisoner siya. Halimbawa, nasa daan ka na naman, pauwi ka. May nakita kang tumatakbong lalaki, tapos nakakulay orange siyang damit, may letter P sa likod. Kasi di ba, we can easily distinguish na he is a prisoner kasi yun naman yung usually na damit ng preso. So you can also arrest that person without a warrant and surrender him to the nearest police station so he can be investigated. Kaya nga ngayon, pinagbabawal na yung pagsusuot or pag-imitate ng mga damit ng mga preso kasi you can be arrested pag ginawa mo yun. Kahit na hindi ka naman talaga prisoner or what, tas trip mo lang gayahin yung damit ng mga preso, bawal na po yun. May batas na po dyan and even yung mga uniform ng mga kapulisan natin, mga army, mga camouflage, ganyan, alam ko bawal na din po silang gayahin. So, yan. So, itong tatlong to, yung yung circumstances na pwede kang mag-arrest ng individual without a warrant. Okay pa? The suspect arrested with or without warrant should be immediately turned over to the nearest police station for proper investigation or inquest. So, yan. Yan ang pinaka-the best na gagawin mo once na ikaw ay nag-arrest ng isang individual. So, surrender to the nearest police station. Okay, still law enforcement pillar, Section 6, Article 16 of the 1987 Philippine Constitution states that the state shall establish and maintain one police force which shall be national in scope and civilian in character to be administered and controlled by a National Police Commission or NAPOLCOM. The authority of local executives over the police units in there shall be provided by law. So, ayan, sinasabi lang niya yung, 'di ba, yung PNP, yung sa PNP reform law na ini-state niya na ang PNP or Philippine National Police is under the control of NAPOLCOM. The passage into law on December 13, 1990 of Republic Act number 6975, known as the DILG Act of 1990, PNP law, led to the abolition of the Philippine Constabulary and Integrated National Police, PCINP, and to the creation of the Philippine National Police. Yes po. Ano po ba? Hindi lang namin. Okay, let's continue. To the creation of the Philippine National Police administered and controlled by the NAPOLCOM with the amendment of Republic Act number 6975 through Republic Act number 8551, otherwise known as the Philippine National Police Reform and Reorganization Act of 1998. The PNP was envisioned to be a community and service-oriented agency under the NAPOLCOM, which was made into an agency attached with the DILG for the purpose of policy and program coordination. So, kasi ang DILG and NAPOLCOM should always be coordinated with each other para sa mga policies and program when it comes to peace and order of the community. So, yun, na-discuss na to natin to kagabi, the Republic Act number 6975 or the PNP law or DILG Act of 1990 and the 8551 or the PNP Reform Law. So, I hope you are already familiar with that kasi napaka-importante po ng mga Republic Act na yan. Okay, moving on to the third pillar of the criminal justice system, we have the prosecution pillar. Prosecution is the course of action or process whereby accusations are brought before a court of justice to determine the innocence or guilt of the accused. So, prosecutor or fiscal is the one who prosecutes another for crime in the name of the government. So they investigate the prosecution upon which an accused is arrested, prepares an accusation against the party whom he suspects to be guilty. So the prosecution or they are the fiscal. They are representing the state or the government. So they are the ones submitting a resolution or decision before the court about the case filed against a person. So sila yung nag-i-inquest at nag-kakandak ng investigation kung may probable cause ba yung case na naka-file against the person. So the prosecution pillar is composed mainly of the state, regional, provincial, and city prosecutors of the National Prosecution Service under the Department of Justice. The Office of the Ombudsman as well as the Judge Advocate General's Office are likewise empowered to perform investigative and prosecutor functions. So, ayan, it's pwedeng-pwede rin silang mag-conduct ng investigation and prosecutor function. So, meron silang the same power as the prosecutors. Si Office of the Ombudsman and Judge Advocate General's Office. So these agencies are primarily responsible for the conduct of the investigation and prosecution of cases involving violation of the revised penal code and other criminal statutes. Prosecutors conduct preliminary investigation to evaluate the finding of law enforcers, and if these prosecutors find probable cause, they then file the information in court for trial judgment. Once the accused is arrested, the prosecutors prosecute the case in the court. So, ayan na nga sa prosecution, sila yung mga as mentioned earlier, nagde-decide at nagbibigay ng decision and resolution sa court against the case filed against the person for for trial judgment. So what is preliminary investigation ba? An inquiry or proceeding to determine whether there is sufficient ground to engender a well-founded belief that a crime has been committed and the respondent is probably guilty thereof. It is required to be conducted before the filing of the information for an offense where the penalty prescribed by law is at least 4 years, 2 months, and 1 day. So sa preliminary investigation, hindi pa naman dito talaga napapatunayan na guilty na yung isang tao. So ito lang may mga na find out na grounds na maaring nagpapatunay doon sa na-commit na crime. And then probable cause, the existence of such facts and circumstances as would excite a belief in a reasonable mind, acting on the facts within the knowledge of the prosecutor that the person charged is probably guilty of the crime for which he is prosecuted. So, probable cause, it is a strong evidence ba, kumbaga. So, as you can see, the word probably is used in here. So, hindi pa naman talaga napatunayan. Still, will still undergo on the trial sa court. So parang maybe pa lang, hindi pa found guilty. Then pleadings refers to the written allegation of the parties to the case. And then complaint, a sworn or written instrument charging a person with an offense subscribed by the offended party, any peace officer or other public officers charged with the enforcement of the law. And then information, an accusation in writing charging a person with an offense subscribed by the fiscal and filed with the court. So, like definition of terms tayo dito. And i-familiarize nyo lang din or like get a keyword from them para mas madali nyo ma-familiarize yung mga definition nila. Okay, give me a minute. Hmm. Okay. Persons authorized to conduct preliminary investigation. So we have here, sino-sino ba yung mga may kapangyarihan na mag-conduct ng preliminary investigation? We have the provincial or city prosecutors and their assistants, state and regional state prosecutors, other officers as may be authorized by law, like Tanod Bayans, especially prosecutors as authorized by the Ombudsman, COMELEC authorized legal officers for election offenses, and special prosecutors appointed by the Secretary of Justice. So sila-sila yung mga pwedeng mag-conduct ng preliminary investigation. So, by the word itself, preliminary, kumbaga, unang investigation. Okay. Let us proceed with the fourth pillar, which is the court. The court pillars or the judiciary provides the forum where the prosecution is given opportunity to prove that there is a strong evidence of guilt against the accused. So this is also the place where the accused is given his day in court to disprove the accusation against him. So we all know naman what happens in the court. So dito yung nangyayari yung hearing or yung mga trial ng mga cases. So pwedeng mag-defend yung inaakusahan or pwede ring mapatunayan na siya ay guilty doon sa crime na ina-accuse against sa kanya. This is in view of the constitutional presumption of the innocence of the accused, which means that the courts must first determine the guilt of the accused beyond reasonable doubt, based on the strength of the evidence presented by the prosecution. And then if there is a reasonable doubt that the accused indeed committed the crime, he has to be acquitted. So ito, meron na siyang disposition or kumbaga may verdict na sa kanya. Kung there is a reasonable doubt, ayan. Okay, the rules of court, however, provides that the accused convicted of a lesser offense than crime he has been charged in the information if the elements of the lesser offense are necessarily included in the offense charge, and such lesser offense was proven by competent and relevant pieces of evidence. So again, definition of term, court, an organ of the government belonging to the judicial department whose function is the application of the laws to controversies brought before it and the public for the administration of justice. And then judiciary, branch of the government which is vested with judicial power. And then judicial power, power to apply laws to contests or disputes concerning legally recognized rights or duties of and between the state and the private persons or between individual litigants in cases properly brought before the judicial tribunals. It is vested in the Supreme Court and in lower courts. So judicial power, it pertains to the power of the judiciary department. And then criminal procedure is the method prescribed by law for the apprehension and prosecution of persons accused of any criminal offense and for their punishment in case of conviction. Jurisdiction, it is the authority to hear and determine a cause. So yun again, pagka-definition of terms, para mas madaling ma-memorize, please mag-note kayo at kung kaya nyong i-shorten or i-simplify yung mga definition, just get the keyword so that you can familiarize it easily. Okay, we have the correction pillars. It is said to be the weakest pillar. This pillar is tasked to take custody, reform, and rehabilitate an offender through either institutional or the prisons and jails or non-institutional corrections, community-based correction, or the correction pillar takes over once the accused, after having been found guilty by the court, is imposed the penalty provided for by law for the crime committed. So if qualified, the accused may apply for probation or be turned over to the non-institutional agency or facility for custodial treatment and rehabilitation. So, ito na si correction pillar, ito na yung found guilty na si accused or yung halimbawa yung suspect na napatunayan na siya ay guilty. So he has to be in jail, depende yan kung saan siya. Later on we will know kung saan ba dapat makulong or kasi 'di ba may mga iba-ibang ano tayo jails, meron tayong municipal, may provincial, may national. So ano ba yung gravity para ikaw ay mapunta sa mga jail na yon or kung saan ka ba dapat mapunta? Okay, sa last bullet pala sabi, if qualified, the accused may apply for probation or be turned over to a non-institutional agency or facility for custodial treatment and rehabilitation. So, meron pala tayong probation na tinatawag kung saan pwede kang hindi na lang sa non-institutional agency or hindi na sa jail, kundi sa mga rehabilitation centers na lang ikaw madala. So like for example, 'di ba yung mga minor hindi naman sila kinukulong. So they can be rehabilitated. And then likewise, the offender may avail the benefits of parole if executive clemency once he has served the minimum period of his sentence. So, maaari kang maparulan kung ikaw ay nakikitaan ng pagbabago na sa loob ng kulungan at nakikita nilang pwede ka nang i-release pabalik sa ating community. He may apply for these privileges before the Parole and Probation Administration or PPA or Board of Pardons and Parole BPP as the case may be. So, dyan sa dalawang yan, pwede silang mag-avail or mag-apply ng parole. So again, definition of terms, when we say correction, a branch of administration of criminal justice charge with the responsibility for the custody, supervision, and rehabilitation of convicted offenders. So ito nga pala sa correction pillar, dito naman involve si BJMP or the Bureau of Jail and ano ba yan? Basta si BGMP, dito siya naka-include. Penology, branch of criminology which deals with the treatment, management, and administration of inmates. And then penalty, suffering that is inflicted by the state for the transgression of the law. Philippine prison system, patterned after the U.S. Federal prison system. And then prison, institutions for confinement of convicted offenders sentenced to more than 3 years of imprisonment, administered by the Bucor, also called as the national prisons, from Greco-Roman word presidio. And then jails, institutions for confinement of convicted offenders sentenced to imprisonment of 3 years or less, derived from the Spanish word jaula or caula. Okay, one moment. Wait lang po. Okay, ito naman si classification of prisoners. So, ito yung sinasabi ko kanina. Saan ka nga ba dapat mapunta? Sa municipal prisoner ba? City prisoner, provincial, or national? So, kung yung dapat mong ipamalagi sa jail is just for 1 day to 6 months, so you can be detained sa municipal jail or you are called municipal prisoner. And then city prisoner, ito naman yung mga may 1 day to 3 years na dapat i-spend sa jail. Pag provincial naman, or you are a provincial prisoner, if you have to stay for 6 months, 1 day to 3 years. And then national or insular prisoner, 3 years and 1 day to death. So ito na yung mga grabe na talaga yung mga nagawang offense. Okay. When the penalty is imprisonment, the convicted prisoner serves his or her sentences either in the municipality, city jail, or provincial district jails under the direction of the Bureau of Jail Management and Penology or the BJMP, under the Department of Interior and Local Government. Imposable penalty for the crime committed is 3 years or less. So pag 3 years or less, can we go back? Ayun, pag 3 years or less, dito ka lang sa municipal, city, or provincial. Kasi pag more than 3 years na sa Muntinlupa ka na or sa national jail ka na. For inmates under investigation or undergoing trial or serving short-term sentences. So yung mga pansamantala, nag-undergo pa ng trial. So dito lang sa municipality, city, provincial, district jails. Kasi National Penitentiary, under the Bureau of Corrections na to. Okay, rehabilitation of national prisoners. Ito na nga yung mga grabe ang offenses. Imposable penalty for the crime committed is more than 3 years. So example ng National Penitentiary is the New Bilibid prison in Muntinlupa. Okay. Let's go to the 15 processes of the criminal justice system. So we have here the initial contact, and then followed by investigation. After ng investigation, arrest, and then custody, where you are being detained. Then complaint. Ayan na yung magpa-file ng complaint sa'yo, yung victim. And then may pre-trial. So sa complaint, andyan na nag-undergo nga yung mga investigation, inquest ng fiscal, ganyan. And then pre-trial sa court, arraignment, bail or detention, and then plea bargaining. Ito yung possible na malesen yung kaparusahan mo once basta I mean pwede kang mag-plea or makipag-bargain para malesen yung offense or pwedeng mapagaan yung kaso mo. Then trial or decision, disposition, appeal, treatment, release, and post-release. Okay, you may also take note of that or take a screenshot. CR lang ako guys. Wait lang po ha. Pause ko lang po muna. Hello guys, thank you for waiting. Sorry po. Ayan, so 15 process of the CJS na tayo. Ngayon, let us know ano-ano nga ba yung what are the definition of those processes? Let's proceed. So a comprehensive view of the processing of the criminal offender will probably contain the following decision points. So we have the first, initial contact. The initial contact an offender The initial contact an offender has with the justice system is usually with the police. Police officers may observe a criminal act during their patrol. They may also find out about a crime through a citizen or a victim complaint. Similarly, an informer can alert them about the criminal activity in return for financial or other consideration. Sometimes political officials and such as the mayor or the council ask the police to look into ongoing criminal activity such as gambling. So initial contact, ito yung pinaka dito na nangyayari yung crime. So paano nga ba sorry, excuse me. So, paano nga ba nalalaman kung there's a crime? So, the police office, as mentioned here, the police officers may observe a criminal act or an offense during their patrol, pag nagpapatrol sila. Or they may also find out about a crime through a citizen or victim complaint, pag may nagreklamo. Or through an informer can alert them about a criminal activity in return for financial or other consideration. So, di ba meron silang mga tinatawag na asset? Asset ba yun? Yung parang bibigyan nila ng pera para mag-observe, ganyan lalo na um, like for example, sugal. So, sila yung mag-i-spy kung meron bang mga nagsusugal sa area na to. So, babayaran nila. Um, kasi, meron kasi akong bayaw na pulis. So, sabi niyang, kinukwento niya sa amin, ganun yung ginagawa nila. They are paying someone or like yung mga vendors na mag-spy sa mga areas, lalo na sa mga laging na ire-report na may mga gambling activities so that para maging informer nila kung still may nangyayari pa ring sugal sa area na yon or any criminal activity. So, ayun, sa ganong way sila pag nakakakuha ng information